take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Garak. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. You here to make war? Please surrender. False word. Important thing is, I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework planet. From now on, it's gonna be under one roof. You're gonna run it like a business. That means you're gonna make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Deep Space Nine Wednesday for November 25th, 2020. Today we are watching our Man Bashir, Season 4, Episode 10. This is the James Bond-like episode where Dr. Bashir takes on the role of a secret British spy in the holodeck. Mr. Garak tags along, and through a series of improbable events, the rest of the main cast get transformed into holo characters due to a transporter buffer malfunction. Well, actually, they just tell the computer to save the transporter buffer when the ship they're on suddenly explodes and they're all beamed off in the nick of time. And of course, the safeties are down, which means he can't die, else he might actually die, or would actually die. And also, he can't kill any of the other characters, because then the holodeck might just erase them to save memory, because that's how aggressive holo programs are at saving memory, that the moment you kill a character, they're immediately erased from memory, meaning that you could never tell the holodeck to recreate the character. So you can't say, holodeck, bring back so-and-so that I just killed, because they've erased them so quickly, which doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. But I understand they needed to make it thrilling. Else you'd say, well, he could just kill everybody and, wait out his time in the bar and everybody would be fine. And truth be told, that might have worked. They just weren't sure. But we'll wait till we get into the episode. And I did start early today because we're getting an unexpected visit from Sis O'Prey and Nephew O'Prey. They'll probably get here at some point while I'm streaming, so no camera today. Unfortunately, this is not a planned visit. Sis O'Prey is having back problems, and she needs some help. So we wish Sis O'Prey get well soon. She's seen a doctor, she's seen a chiropractor, she has prescriptions on the way to this house, and hopefully she'll be okay come tomorrow, but she's having a very rough day today. So we'll try to make her evening as reasonable as can be. So I apologize. It just wasn't a good day for a camera. Kuroganite was first in chat and says, Viva Kuroga, Viva DS9, absolutely. Viva Kuroganite, Viva Kuroga, Viva DS9. Thank you, Kuroganite. And 54.5 Axis Radio says, how dare you, Birdo Prey? How dare you assume Dr. Bashir's gender? I'm pretty sure Julian is male. Dan23 says, is that a James Bond? Is this the James Bond type episode? Yes, it is the James Bond episode. Thomas Potts says, hello. Hello, Thomas. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Qapla 47 Yorktown. Life with Matthew says, Qapla, Bird of Prey and all. Happy DS9 Wednesday. Thank you, Life with Matthew. Happy DS9 Wednesday to you too, or should I say happy Virtual Pub Wednesday. And Joseph Patrick with a €2 super chat. Greetings, Joseph. Says, early bird, greetings from the future. Qapla, Qapla, Joseph. And it should come across the screen any moment. Captain Trax is Bird of Prey. Hello, late again, I see. No, I was early. I was definitively early today. And there's Joseph super chat. Got a nice Lieutenant Savick there. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Thomas Potts says, The Expanse is ending after season 6. Yes, I heard. Honestly, I think it's a fair run. I know people are really looking forward to season 5. And I know there are books, so it's very hard to understand how they're ending after season 6. To be honest, I'm surprised they got that far. Don't get me wrong. I do really like The Expanse, but it's had 6 seasons, and today's world is a feat in and of itself. I look forward to. I hope they end it well. I hope it doesn't fall to wokeness and diversity bullshit and inclusion, because they're already a very diverse show. They're already a very inclusive show, but they don't ram it down your throat. And I'm afraid that being where it is, that it might just go that direction. So let's just hope they can hold out 2 more seasons, or what is it? 2 more seasons? Yeah. Season 5 is about to start, and season 6 will be its final season, and we can see it off. And to be completely honest, I would bet that The Expanse is going to get a hell of a lot more seasons than the Orville will. I would be very surprised if we ever see a 4th season of the Orville. And we're going to, maybe if we're lucky, we'll get the 3rd season. They're just started to reshoot. The Orville has just gone back into production again. And hopefully they don't have to shut down a second time. But if, God forbid, they do have to shut down a second time, like what if, God forbid, the virus starts going crazy and 2 or 3 of the actors come down with it? I hate to say, I think there's a chance they would throw in the towel and we wouldn't even get a season 3. Maybe they would go to, I don't know, maybe they'd animate it. I don't know what would happen. But I'm feeling very pessimistic today, guys. And Expanse ending after season 6. That's good. I don't even know if we're going to be here for season 6. Let's put it that way. We're here now. I'll worry about the 5th season. It's going to start in a month. In fact, less than a month. December 16th, I believe. So, okay, I can say we'll probably see the 5th season. I don't know what life is going to be like after that. Thomas is Life with Matthew. How is your wife feeling? Oh, I didn't know your wife wasn't feeling well. Life with Matthew. I hope she is feeling well. And Life with Matthew donated $3. Says, woohoo, DS9. Let's get this going. Yes, we will. We'll get this going very soon. Not a ton of chat today. Which is good, so we can get the episode going, guys. If you're going to watch along with us, You want to head to the Bird of Prey 5 screening room. The link is on the YouTube page, or https://birdofprey5.com/sr lowercase, and you can watch along with us in the screening room. Deej Odyssey is here. Hell, welcome, Deej. Says, greetings, one and all. Qapla to Deej. Captain Track says, Thomas, that's no surprise. I know a lot who like it, but he's not one of them. Thomas says, cheater. Not a cheater. Not Ryan Johnson. Says, Bird of Prey starting early. Incredible. Amazing. Robert Rose Jr. says, Qapla today. Bird of Prey, Mama Prey, and Sassy. Hope you are doing well. We're doing well, Robert. Sisko Prey needs a little help today. Deej Odyssey says, Bird of Prey, your voice sounds a little rough today. You feeling okay? It's just been a rough day, Deej. DD Myers, also, I've been up since like 3 in the morning. So, and now with Nephew of Prey coming tonight, I don't know. Oh, he's sleeping out here? That's right. She can't lift him. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen tonight with Discovery, if we're going to be asleep, if I'm going to be awake. Obviously, we love Nephew of Prey. We'll do everything we can for him and for Sisko Prey. But yeah, yeah, I might be watching it live at 2, and then I'll just go on while holding a baby. We'll see. It's going to be a rough few days, Deej. DD Myers says, Bird of Prey, how are you and your family? Hope everyone is doing good. Wanted to say, before I forget, have a great Bird Day. Thanks for the DS9 episode today. Thank you, DD. I think I already explained. Mama Prey and I are doing okay. Sisko Prey is in a bit of distress. Springtime says, Bird of Prey, remember to vote Mama Prey in 2024. She knows where you live. DD Myers says, all in chat, hello and greetings. Hope everyone is well and having a great day. Mako says, our man Bird. That would have made a better episode. Robert Rose says, Bird of Prey, sorry to hear about Sisko Prey. It's okay. Thank you, Robert. Live with Matthew says, Thomas, she's good, thanks. Our tests are all coming back positive. No one is sick. This is insanity. Well, Live Matthew, you want your tests to be coming back negative. Negative tests are generally good in medicine. If you tell people you came back positive, they're going to say, oh no, you've got the virus. And they're going to tell you not to come around them. DD Myers is Bird of Prey. Sorry to hear Sisko Prey is having problems. Hope she feels better soon. So do I, DD. And there's a pretty good chance they're giving her a steroid that should help her back. I hope for her sake. Well, for all our sakes. I hope it helps. Rock Solid says, Bird of Prey, can we redo Little Green Men again? Shitty 24 hours could use it. You know, Rock Solid, maybe one day, but I can't because I'm going to have a really tough, shitty 24 hours coming up. And it hasn't been the best past, so I just don't have the time to put to it. But I understand, Rock Solid, don't get me wrong. You can always watch Little Green Men on your own. Deej says, Live with Matthew, inform all that's been a panel with you so you can get tested. Yes, he said he came back positive. So they got to get tested. Everybody's got to get tested. Bradley Briggs says, Zup, Zal, y'all, Zup, Bradley. Thomas Potts says, Live with Matthew. Well, at least you guys aren't sick. Deej says, Hail to Rock Solid Productions. Not Ryan Johnson says, Bird of Prey. The official list of who were the early birds on the stream. I was first, Mako was second, 47 Yorktown was third, and future man Joseph Patrick was fourth. Thank you. Yes, because I set this up very early today, and I didn't come back to check who was early. Captain Trax is Deej. Lucky for me, I am not allowed on Life with Matthews panels, so I don't need to be tested. Deej says, me neither. Live Magic Captain Track, I'm not sure where you got that idea, but you are allowed. Springtime says, wouldn't be surprised if we get some Expanse movies after season 6. That might be nice. Deej says, Sisko Bray needs a good back rub, a good long back rub. Are you offering, Deej? Tiki of Doom says, wait, so positive test is bad. Oh shit, yeah. Thomas says, steroids, Sisko Bray is going to the Major League Baseball. Live with Matthew says, Bird of Prey, I know. We all apparently have the virus. Oh, you do? You've all tested positive for the virus, but none of you have symptoms. Wow. Well, I gotta say, I mean, I'm sorry to hear you tested positive, but holy F, congratulations. That's kind of the best of the best. You have it and you've got no symptoms. It sucks to have to, I guess, quarantine, but hell, you're all going to have those sweet, sweet antibodies now. You'll be able to walk around like it's over. I hope none of you develop any symptoms like with Matthew, but to be honest, I think you're probably in the perfect situation. Having the virus and 0 symptoms is far better than having symptoms and saying you don't have the virus. Deej says, can I volunteer to give Sisko Bray the injection? Oh, wait, never mind. Richie would get jealous. Wow. Canowick says, what luck. This is one of my favorite DS9 episodes. This whole season, we've got Stormfront coming, or Homefront, excuse me, Homefront. And then the second part of Homefront. We got some really good episodes coming. Yosef says 2020, the year where you are avoiding positive people. Marcus Gallagher says, hey, chat people. Cinnabon Bunny says, get well soon. I jumped a few. Says, Cinnabon says, get well soon to Life with Matthew. And Kennewick, yes, this is his favorite, one of his favorite episodes. Bradley Briggs says, you can't catch COVID. And you can catch COVID and never know it. Absolutely. You can. Kennewick says some people have low numbers of ACE2 receptors. That's the door that lets COVID in. Deej says, Bird of Prey, I would volunteer, but it would lead to more. And well, then you would have another nephew or niece. And you would have a brother-in-law. Dee says, Joseph, I agree. Yes, Mama Pray.
Each get here. Next out.
Mama Pray says.
Really like the fact.
Mama Pray says, Deej, if you can get here in the next hour, she's sure Sisko Pray would accept the back rub. Executive, and that's only for Deej. I don't know who else. Richie Poole, if you could get here, you're okay too. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Qapla, Bird of Prey, when is National Nephew Day in Karoga? Probably June 23rd, the birthday. Live with Matthews is Bird of Prey. I'm pretty sure the missus was the only one who got it. I don't have any antibodies. Oh, gotcha. Bee's Nest Film says, Qapla, Bee's Nest. Thomas says, so that means Matthew won't get the Bill Gates tracking vaccine. Tiki of Doom says, those decorative masks that women keep crumbled in their purses and never wash all these months later are totally effective. Tiki of Doom says, an expert told me. Deed says, if you see Nightbreeze today, say happy birthday to him or not. Lol. Wesley Crusher says, Bird of Prey, greetings everyone. Off to work I go. Take care, Wes. Chronos says, Qapla, Bird of Prey, and chat. Play the video. Make it so. Oops, wrong series. Bradley Briggs says, Tiki of Doom, you mean the chin protectors that people wear? Kennewick says, boom, chicka waka waka. Wow. TD says, Deej is the man tonight. Thomas Potts says, once again, it's Deej. Tiki says, Bradley Briggs, they have pretty pictures. Yosef says, I want a back rub, but not from the bunny. Deej says, I doubt Sisko Prey would agree to me giving her a back rub. Well, right now she's in pain. She might. Thomas is Joseph, Momo Will, and Bradley Briggs says, I've seen the mask with people's faces printed on them. It's creepy AF. And Kronos is Bird of Prey. I'm supposed to be lurking. Shh, no, it's my phone. Oh, maybe it was your phone. No, it's right next to mine. Let me check. Doesn't appear to be my phone. I don't know. Plans for reopening schools. Nonsense. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get ready and start watching this episode. So head on over to the screening room if you haven't already. Let's see. I need to head over to the screening room. There we go. I'm going to count down and then I will hit play. If you're not watching in the screening room, then you can watch here in YouTube. You'll see a screenshot every 10 or so seconds. But obviously you can't hear the audio because that would make YouTube sad. So let me turn off the audio now that I said that. Good. Okay. Joseph says, has anyone seen Kronos? He's right there, Joseph. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And we got a guy falling through glass. In slow motion, he's got an eye patch. Kind of looks like Chakotay. Oh, and there's Bashir dressed in a suit. And hot woman with a champagne bottle. And a tuxedo, excuse me. And Bashir is looking in the bottle and he sees the reflection of the man stand up. So he opens the bottle and he shoots the cork at the guy, hits him right in the forehead. I forgot to hit play. Thank you, Mr. Bashir. Julian Bashir. Now, I wonder if they expected that it was going to be JB like James Bond when they made the character Julian Bashir, or if that was just a happy accident. And now Garak is clapping, and the woman's like, who is that? And Bashir's like, an uninvited guest. And he says, nice tux to Garak. Get out. He says, but doctor, I've just arrived. He says, breaking into somebody's program is illegal. He should call Odo. Garak is like, why would you be embarrassed? Why are you embarrassed by this program? He says, it's privacy. Privacy. It's the fact that he said privacy is annoying. So Garak is like, the fact that since he received this program, he spent every free hour here. Okay, I have to pause. He says Bashir is such a talkative man, and it's so unusual for him to miss signals. So Garak is asking if this fantasy is truly revealing of his psyche. This is why he's so protective of the thing he loves. He's afraid that he'd learn some secrets. He says, this is a fantasy. He's not hiding anything, says Bashir. Garak says, if you're not hiding, then let me stay. And Bashir says, all right. But the woman is annoyed. The holographic woman is annoyed, and he tells Garak not to rain on his parade. Garak's like, parade? He's like, don't worry. He can be very discreet. You'll hardly know that he's here. But he would make a suggestion, an observation. He wants to point out that the lovely companion is leaving. Odd, she seems so interested in your advances just a moment ago. Just say, computer, come back. And he says, I wonder what scared her away. Garak is like, oh no, I apologize. You must be incensed. If I was in your shoes, I'd grab a bottle of champagne and shoot me. And Bashir says, I can see I'm going to regret this. And Garak is like, don't worry, we're going to have a wonderful time. What could possibly go wrong? And I'm pausing the opening credits until the YouTube screenshots catch up with it. I forgot to hit play. My bad. My bad. We'll hit play. Hello, Jedi Bill. Qapla, Jedi Bill. Kennewick Sapien says, dangerous champagne corks are a thing. A friend got bruised in the face by a cork. Chronos says, yay, just what I was waiting for, a Bird of Prey narration. Marcus Gallagher says, she is hot though. And there we go. We're going to hit play, I believe. Now we should be in sync. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. She isn't Sisko Prey hot, says Deej. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Wow. Okay. Created by some guys. And we've got Bashir and Garak coming through a door. The deco is appropriate for the period 1964. He's in Hong Kong. But the nightclub is in Paris, but it's the other side of the planet. Oh, now another sexy spy woman comes. Oh, Mr. Bashir. He got to leave Paris a little early. He's introducing Mr. Garak, and this is his personal valet. Would he like to change it to something more comfortable? He says, see if you can find something for Mr. Garak as well. She'll see what she can do. She'll put that box away for him. Bashir asks if he'd like a drink, and Garak says, not just yet. And Garak sees the wall. The wall changes to all weapons. And Garak says, is she the personal valet or assassin? Says valet. She speaks 7 languages, knows all this other stuff. Can turn a jet into a helicopter. I don't know, something like that. Is there something else she can do for him? So Garak says, I take it your character is some type of rich dilettante with a fascination for women and I don't know what. And Bashir says, no, I'm a spy. Garak says, a spy? He's like, I work for one of the nation states, Great Britain. They're in the Cold War. This apartment, his clothes, his weapons, his valet are all paid for by the government. And Garak says, I think I joined the wrong intelligence service. Absolutely, Garak. You should have been born in Earth, Great Britain, 44. Okay, Mr. Eddington is the Sisko, and the crew is coming home on a runabout for some reason instead of the Defiant. And they need to set down on a runabout pad. Eddington is giving them permission to dock. Now there's a whole bunch of fluctuations. They're taking the warp core offline. Oh no, O'Brien can't take the warp core offline. The whole shuttle is shaking, runabout shaking. He's ejecting the warp core. They can't. Wow, there are so many main characters in such a tiny runabout. I don't think we've ever seen this anymore. O'Brien says it's sabotage. Okay, Beddington says we're going to beam you out of there. And the runabout comes to like a screeching halt in space for some reason. And they're energizing, and then the runabout explodes. And they all evaporate from the transporter buffer. It's just smoke. They've got to be dead. They've got to be dead. Nobody's ever survived this in a transporter buffer before. Eddington, the station's on red alert. We've just seen literally 3/4 of the senior crew be killed. Odo comes up. He says, Captain Sisko's runabout exploded. They were being beamed back. Odo's like, do you have their patterns? They're in the buffer, but they're going to start to degrade. They need to store the patterns. Odo's like, you can't just store the patterns. There's too much data. They got to store the memory of saving just one person is astronomical. Eddington says, computer, I need to store all data in the transporter buffer. And there's insufficient computer memory to do that. And he's losing coherence. They're going to disintegrate any second. So Eddington says, take over memory in every system on the station and then store the patterns. They're depolarizing. He says, command priority override. Take over all computer memory necessary in order to save the patterns necessary in the buffer. And he gives his authorization code. Everything shuts down. Everything shuts down. Lights are out. Life support. Oh, a few screens are on. The buffer's gone. Did the computer save them in time? Eddington says he thinks so, but he doesn't know where they are in the computer. Oh, but luckily, the holodeck is still running. Kronos says, Bing's a gummy bear. What? Bing's a gummy bear? Bling's a gummy bear. Don't fling no gummy bears at me. Kronos says, check the Heisenberg compensator. Absolutely. So, Bashir says they're jet setters. They have to act like one. Because Garak's like, why do we keep changing clothes and, doing all this fancy stuff? And he was trying to explain what a jet setter is. And there was a knock on the door, and the wall changes, and a bed turns around, and it's Major Kira, dressed in a very sensual gown, laying on the bed. And it says, Julian, I must have fallen asleep, in a Russian accent. And now Julian is telling Garak that this is very funny. Who else did you invite along? He's like, Major? She says, no, this is Gulanil Astauzi or something. She has a Russian accent. She says, I did not see you. I did not think I'd see you since last time. He had a parachute, he says. He says, how did you know about that? That was a different holosuite program. He says, oh, Julian, you are not well. Let's lay down. Major Kira is throwing herself into the role, says Garak. And Bashir is like, Nerys, please. She's like, who is this Major Kira you talk about? Garak is like, perhaps this isn't Major Kira after all. And Bashir's like, I'm beginning to think you're like. And he's like, restore the computer, restore the image back to its original parameters, unable to comply. Somebody's been tampering with the program. There's much to talk about, says the character. They can't freeze the program either. Station-wide emergency. Oh, so comms work. Comms works. It goes station to ops. He's in Holosuite 3. The program's running, but it won't obey his commands. Like the program is still running. And he's like, I demand to know who you are talking to. It sounded like Kira with a Russian accent. And it says somebody replaced one of the characters with Major Kira. He says, stay where you are, Doctor. Leave the computer running. I'll get right back to you. Kronos is bird of prey. Can I make some Russian collusion jokes now? No, Kronos. Whatever you do, don't end the program. There's been a transporter accident. The transporter is computer is holding the buffer of 5 crew members. It's a long story. How could that happen? Eddington says a long story, but Worf, Kira, Sisko, Dax, and O'Brien exist only in the Holo Suite. So they've got to keep the program running. Otherwise, they could all die. Qapla, Dan. Oh, she will relax, but she's here on business. A series of earthquakes. Seismologists have analyzed it. They're artificial. Garak says that's not so difficult. And Bashir is like, don't talk about it. Believe me, he knows nothing, says Bashir. Garak is not. Garak was going to tell us how to control the Earth's surface. He's like, because of the global nature of the crisis, the government has authorized her to work together. Their assignment is to find out who caused the earthquakes and what they want. Garak says it's a rather vague assignment. They do have a clue. One of the world's leading seismologists has been kidnapped. And the world's leading seismologist is, of course, it's Dax. Since the first earthquake struck New York City, Garak's like, is this really time to be playing games? And he shows the picture. He shows the picture to Garak, and it's Dax dressed as a sexy scientist. Wait, Dax is a sexy scientist, but a 20th century sexy scientist with a white coat and black rimmed glasses. Rock Solid's bird of prey computer end program. Computer play Little Green Men. Oh no, his personal valet is dead. Stabbed in the back. Kronos says, wow, John DeMarco, yes, bird of prey has a tremendous Russian accent. Oh, and there's O'Brien. Now he's the guy with the eye patch. It's Falcon. Ah, nice to see you, Mr. Bashir. Now we have a little unfinished business. He's going to shoot. He's going to shoot Bashir. Commercial break. So, sorry about that. So, they're giving Bashir a moment to talk to, say goodbye to Kira. So she's giving him a kiss. Of course, Falcons was the guy who got hit with the cork at the earlier, and she whispers to him, earring. He takes off her earring, throws the earring. It turns out to be a bomb, and Falcon gets hit, and now Garak is hand fighting one of the henchmen, who's not one of the characters. They got the guns. She brought those for Anastasia last Christmas. Oh, Garak says, bleeding. He says the safeties must be off. So she was going to Kira was going to kill O'Brien. And she says, Niet. He says, Julian, what are you saying? He's been trying to kill you for years. And Garak is saying, yeah, you might want to do it. And he says, yes, but he's a hired assassin who's going to do everything he can to kill you. And without the safeties in place, he might just do it. He's like, so what do you want me to do? Kill him? And Garak says, I want you to stop pretending that this is a game and everything's going to call out okay in the end. You might have to make some hard choices. If you want to save Dax, you might not have the luxury of saving everyone. You might have to let someone die. And Julian says, I'll get to that situation if and when it comes to it. And meanwhile, Kira's like, who is Dax? Professor Bear's been kidnapped. We believe that the Professor Noah is behind the abductions. He has kidnapped an elite group of 16 artists and scientists from around the world. But our sources tell us that each of the missing people were abducted at a club in Paris right before they went missing, because scientists and artists are known for going to clubs in Paris. Sorry, my dear, he says to the valet. I gotta know how to tie a bow tie. They're going to Paris. And again, Kira is asking, who is Dex? So Ram is now on it. And he's like, he had to make a few modifications to the holo suites over the years. And he says, a few? That's a junkyard in there. Quark says if they barely break even on the holodecks, if you had to buy new equipment every time something broke down, you wouldn't make any money. So it's a perfect plasma conductor. He found them. All 5 physical patterns are in there. And they're stable. He says, why here? This holodeck is specifically designed to store highly complex physical energy patterns. He's not reading any neural energy. Ram is like, neural energy is stored on the quantum level. And it can't handle that, the holodeck. So their brain patterns are everywhere else, says Quark. Their brain patterns are so large, they're taking up every bit of data on the station. Life support, everything. So what do we do about it? How do we get them back? And now we're back in Paris. And we got a cage dancing woman. Carno says, I'll murder the world for $1 million. It's the mute button. It's his mute button. I did. He'd like to see Dr. Whatever. He has an invitation, says Bashir. And this guy goes behind the glass door. The same glass door that we saw Falcon fly through at the beginning of the episode, mind you. Dun, dun. And who is this? Why, it's Worf. Playing poker. Oh, playing blackjack, maybe. He wants to see his invitation. He is the Shaw, Dr. Noah's associate. And may I? So, his name is Mayweather, Patrick Mayweather. This is his wife, Anastasia. And my friend, Mr. Garak. And Worf kisses Kira's hand, says he's charmed. Your invitation, Mr. Mayweather. He says he doesn't have one. Dr. Noah does not like the unexpected guests. Anastasia says, oh, Dr. Noah would be very interested in meeting my husband. He is one of the foremost scientists in seismology. We believe he's taken quite an interest in scientists, says Garak. He's invited all the top scientists to this club. He says he felt a little insulted being left out. Worf says, how unfortunate while smoking a cigar. Of course, a meeting can be arranged for a price. He says, oh, 5 million francs. Bashir takes out his checkbook and he puts out one bill. And Worf is like, I don't understand, where's the rest of your money? He's like, sitting in front of you. Shall we begin? So he's going to win $5 million from Worf playing blackjack. Kronos says nobody cares about Worf's ridges. It just works like that. Marcus says Dr. Noah is a clever reference. John DeMarco says ridges are great for an evil henchman. And Yosef needs alcohol. He'll be right back. So Quark says don't everyone thank him at once. And he's keeping them alive. They can use the Defiant. Their power systems are independent. It can power from the station. Rom is like, yeah, it sounds good, except his equipment isn't designed to interface with Starfleet systems. He might have to make some modifications. We got Kira standing next to Bashir, who's playing blackjack. Is it blackjack or is it poker? He's only got 2 cards, but that's not how you usually play blackjack. I don't know what he's playing. Card. It's blackjack. But these cards should be visible. I don't know what he's playing. $5 million francs. Oh, it's Baccarat. Baccarat and geology are his life. So now Worf picks out a different cigar with a special color around it. He says, when do we leave? And Worf says, right now. And he puts the cigar in his mouth and he blows it. And he blows out some type of gas. And all 3 of them, Garak, Kira, and Bashir, fall out unconscious. Go right to sleep. Live with Matthew says he's playing Fizbin. That would have been a great reference. So now they've woken up with headaches in a decorator's nightmare. This era has a distinct lack of taste, says Garak. They're in paradise, and it's Sisko. And it's Dr. Noah. His name is Hippocrates Noah. And he smiles a little. He's wearing a very bleak, drab clothing. He does give a cigarette to Kira. And he says that since you're a geologist, surely you can appreciate these stones. His most recent acquisition. And of course, Bashir is able to identify all of them. The thermal deposits on the Tibetan Plateau, which isn't surprising, considering we're on the southeastern slope of Mount Everest. About 22,000 feet, he would say. 25,000, says Sisko. And Bashir's like, you must not get many tourists. He says, my guests and I put a premium on their privacy. We don't want any welcome guests, such as men sent by governments with different political philosophies. Again, what is your philosophy? Are you some kind of anarchist? He says, no, quite the opposite. He believes in an orderly world. A far cry from the chaos of today. We're building a future here. A new beginning. A new chapter of human history. Right here. On my island. And Bashir's like, island? He says, forgive me, Sisko. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. Allow me to explain. And of course, he has this wall go right up. And there's Dax. And the map of the globe behind her. It's a flat Earth. just to be clear, and one of those fancy 1960s control panels. And yes, she's working with him. They're in love, I think, too. Not only does he going to create a new world, at each one of these points, these red dots, he's got a new form of laser. He's going to shoot it down to cut to the mantle. He's gonna activate all the lasers together, and they will produce worldwide flooding, the likes of which we've never seen. And Garak says, killing everyone on the planet. More than that, there comes a time when the house has been so damaged by termites, you have to not only kill the termites, but demolish the house and build again. The quakes are only a minor side effect. The real goal is to have these lasers produce massive fissures, releasing millions of tons of molten lava. Now, you're the geologist, Mr. Mayweather. Tell me what happens next. Once that much lava is released, the tectonic plates will begin to settle, and the surface of the planet will shrink, just like letting air out of a balloon. And Kira's like, but if the surface of the ocean shrinks, the oceans, and Bashir says, we'll cover the earth. Diabolical. Visionary, says Sisko. I'm going to let mankind begin anew here, on this island of paradise, the only place that will remain above water, on his brave new world. And that is why he has built the finest. He brought the finest minds, the very best mankind has to offer. We will start a new human race. Pity you won't be able to join us. He says, are you revoking my invitation? He says, I intend to do more than that. Mr. Bashir, he knows who he is. Kronos says, so the boss is a hypocrite. No way. And Kronos says, it's called a map. Yes, that is one way of describing it. Kronos says, wow, do you hear that loud chewing sound underneath the floor, bird of prey? No. His newest employee, it's Falcon O'Brien. So we got Rom and Eddington running all these cables through the Defiant to try to connect the Defiant computers to the station. Rom says he needs another hour. And Eddington says O'Brien's going to kill him when he gets back. Haha, funny joke. He doesn't know that O'Brien is a killer. So, this is one of 74 lasers, although on the map, there was only about 12. He has 5-minute countdown. Once it starts, it can't stop. And once the laser starts, it'll be filled with lava. It says, they're going to need women like Dax. She's young and healthy. They're going to need women like her to propagate the species. And he started the 5-minute countdown. And he tells Bashir to try to stay cool. And him and Falcon leave as Garak and Bashir are tied to the laser drilling machine. And down to 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Kronos' vertebrae, you could have some ranting tips from the evil boss. And Garak says he doesn't want to die chained to a 20th century laser. He thinks it's time to end the program. Bashir says we can't do that or wipe out the patterns of Sisko. He said, well, maybe you should call in Eddington and send someone in. Did you hear what Odo said? We don't know what will happen if we interrupt the holo imaging. The entire program could collapse. Well, Garak is like, we only know one thing for sure. When the molten lava begins pouring into this cave, you and I are going to be very uncomfortable. Uh-oh, there's somebody walking. It's Dax. He's like, it's our ticket out of here. So Bashir's going to use his charms. He says, no one can see what a beautiful woman you are. Garak says, is that your plan? He says, shut up. He says, Noah only wants you for your mind. He can't appreciate the woman inside of you. Honey, he says, would you grant me one last wish? Take off those glasses. Garak is rolling his eyes. She takes off the glasses. She looks at them. She's like this? And he's like, oh, yes. And she puts her glasses in her coat pocket, her lab coat. And now Julian says, your hair would look so much better if it was free. Garak said, this is more than I ever wanted to know. And so now Dax takes down her hair. And she fluffs it out. She's there, says Julian. That's the last thing he wants to remember before he dies. And Dax is smiling. She says, thank you. Garak is like looking very upset. And now Dax looks back at Julian and comes over, puts something in his hand, and kisses him. And Garak says, you guys want some privacy? And now Bashir is using the key, though Garak didn't see. She put the key in his hand. And Julian says, that will not be necessary. Everything's going to be okay. Kiss the girl, get the key, says Garak. They never taught him that in the Obsidian Order. And it's just 6 seconds until the laser starts. And there it goes. Boom, the laser started drilling to the mantle. The whole holodeck is shaking like crazy. Got the music is playing. Da, 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 da. They got to get out of there. They got to get to the control room. If this program ends like the others, it'll be killed by Dr. Noah. In either case, they have to make sure both of them survive. He's going to take on Noah and his men with this gun he put in got from his shoe. Garak's like, this has gone far enough. He says, you got to end this. Garak says, they might be killed. That is unfortunate. But the odds are against you. The only reasonable thing to do is quit. And he says, is that what they taught you at the Obsidian Order, to quit? He said, as a matter of fact, they did. That's why he's still alive when most of his colleagues are dead. He says, that time is now. You would know that if you were a real spy, a real intelligence agent. He says, that's the problem. My fantasy happens to step in his exclusive domain. Dan 23 says, spy track. He says, a real spy has no ego, no conscience, only professionalism. And his time is time to go. Computer! And Julian points the gun at him. He says, or what? You'll kill me? He says, if you kill for the exit, you might kill Sisko and the others. And I'm not prepared to risk it. So Garak says, I'm afraid I don't believe you'll pull it. He's like, it's time to face reality, Doctor. You're a man who dreams of being a hero because you know deep down that you're not. I'm no hero either, but I do know how to make a choice. And he's choosing to save himself. Computer, show me the mechanism. Instead of saying computer, exit, he started saying, computer, show me the mechanism, and Bashir shoots him in the neck. It was a little wound, just a flesh wound. He says, that was awfully close, says Garak. What if you'd killed me? And Bashir says, what makes you think I wasn't trying? And he says, Doctor, I do believe there's hope for you yet. And I have to take a pill. I'm going to mute for a second. They got to get to the controls. Garak says, who is he to question Julian Bashir, secret agent? Lead on. So Eddington said that he only needed a couple more minutes. So instead of being killed, Bashir is saying that maybe he got tired of playing by the rules. Maybe he realizes that Sisko is right. The only way to do it is his way. And Sisko's laughing. And Sisko's getting ready to push the button. And he says, you expect me to believe that? You are Julian Bashir, a man who has spent his entire life dedicated to being against. And he says, yes. He's like, but it's all about to end now. You're going to destroy this world. He's like, what's the use of him continuing to defend a doomed planet? Can you see the sense in that? And Sisko is like breaking down. He's like, no. So now Bashir is heading over to the control panel. He's an intelligence agent. He says, when there comes to a point when the odds are against you, then there's no other reasonable course of action than to quit. How do you think I managed to stay along when all of his other compatriots are dead? Because he knows when to quit. It's exactly the speech Garak just gave him. Okay, and Ram to Ops. You can start transferring whatever. They're beginning the data transfer. And Sisko says, you make a very interesting point. But he's afraid he's been looking forward to killing him for a long time. And Bashir says, you need to move beyond that. Kronos says, bird of prey, don't take the pill. You have too much to live for. Don't worry, Kronos. There's that kind of pill. He's like, you think going over there, you're going to destroy my control console. You're wasting your time. Bashir's like, I'm not here to destroy your console. I'm going to press the button. I intend to use it. And he pushes the start button. And Dak's like, you just initiated the final laser sequence. And Kira's like, you've destroyed the world. The data transfer is complete. They've got control over the station again. And now the map is changing and all the water is rushing up. It's like, you've done it, Doctor. It's all working. And he says, yes, but somehow he didn't expect to win. He doesn't know what to do. I suppose the only thing left to do now is to kill Bashir. And of course, they all get beamed out just as he was about to shoot. And yay, they're all back to normal. They don't know what happened. Eddington to Bashir. It worked, Doctor. You can leave the holosuite now. He says, thank you. And Garak says, interesting. You saved the day by destroying the world. He said, I bet they didn't teach you that in the Obsidian Order. He said, no, it was a great deal they didn't teach me. Like the value of a good game of chance. Or how indulging in fantasy keeps the mind creative. Dan 23 says the program's safety is malfunctioning, so you can't risk killing You destroyed the world. Well, it doesn't matter. The people he needed to save were all on that island. So Julian says he thinks it's safe to say that Julian Bashir, secret agent, will return. Of course, they never do another one. It would have been great. Would have been great if they did, but they never come back to the secret agent storyline for Dr. Bashir. Although, in a way, when he starts working with Section 31, he kind of becomes secret agent in real life. But they don't never return to this particular holo program again. And I guess for good measures, it wouldn't be the same without the rest of the crew. Roxanne says, my goodness, Terry Farrell was beautiful in this episode. Esri doesn't hold a match, let alone a candle. I'll grant you, Rock Solid, seeing Terry Farrell let her hair down in that white lab coat, probably the best she ever looked. Kronos is Bird of Prey. Thanks for the spoiler alert, son of a bitch. Thomas is wrong, Bird of Prey. They do, but it's a small part of the episode. What episode, Thomas? What episode is that? I don't even remember. John DeMarco says they could have had any other episode like this because MGM sent them a nasty letter. That's probably true. Although you really, what could they have done? It's parody. It's parody. Marcus Galagas thinks Esri was cuter. Eastland says it's fun to watch Brooks chew the scenery. Yes. Kronos says she was good looking in the bathing suit as well. Yeah, but better here. Rock Solid says Bird of Prey, no Jadzia on Riser and her red wedding dress were hotter. I disagree. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were good, but I think this was her best. John DeMarco's A Simple Investigation, I think, was the episode. Okay, John, I'll take a look at it. I will take a look. And Thomas says that John is correct. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So, well, we got through this episode. As a Sisko Prey is probably going to pull up any minute, so I am going to end the stream so that we can figure out what she needs once she gets here. I can't play Little Green Men now, Rock Solid. I wish I could. I am sorry. So I am going to let this stream end. Tomorrow, I hope to have out my Discovery review in the morning. As usual, I don't know if I will be streaming tomorrow, but if I do stream tomorrow, it will most likely be on the Bird of Prey 5X channel. So if you're not yet subscribed to Bird of Prey 5X, go to birdofprey5.com now. And there will be a link to the Bird of Prey 5X channel, and you can subscribe to it. And Aravic Sonda with a $2 super chat says, that was a fun one. Thanks, Bird of Prey. You are so welcome, Aravic Sonda, and thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. And there's some dancing happy faces for Aravic Sonda. And so hopefully Friday we'll be doing Bed Life, and hopefully we'll have the camera up for Friday. And if Nephew of Prey is still here, which he should be, I think we might have a surprise. We'll see. Kronos is fives. That sounds real naughty. 5X. No, not 5X's, just 5X. The X stands for extra, nothing naughty. With that, guys, Qapla all. Thomas is Bird of Prey. It's 25 minutes into a simple investigation. Thank you. Thank you. I will take a look. With that, guys, Qapla all and Bird out. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out BirdoPrey5.com, the new home of everything Birdo Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/BirdoPrey5 or on BirdoPrey5.com. Take care.